that over the next 6 months, or as long as it then takes, that we can effectively build a bridge to ensure that Australian businesses, those who are impacted, we can bring them across that bridge and get them to the other side, which is where on that side the economy is rebounding, Australia's health has been rebounding, and Australian life can go back to what it was. As a result, there are a range of measures that we continue to put in place. Measures that address both the health issues, matters in our aged care, as I addressed earlier this week. And importantly, there are measures that we have to put in place in relation to our economy. And the Treasurer will speak to some of those. As you know, the Reserve Bank has made some important decisions about this afternoon. The Reserve Bank Governor and the Deputy Governor met with myself and the Treasurer yesterday afternoon. And this notion of the bridge is what we discussed. It was described in these ways by the Reserve Bank Governor, and he's absolutely right. Because there is a period through which we will have to move. That will be difficult, and the best way to get there is the measures that we're putting in place on a sustainable and staged basis, so that we can do them and scale them up as necessary to ensure that we bring as many people as possible with us, and to ensure that we minimise the impact on their lives. But as I said, there will be impacts, and we'll be seeking also to cushion those impacts along that journey. The Treasurer and I will be making further announcements about that in the next few days, and we've had another important day as we've worked through some of those more specific things that the government will be able to do that will cushion the impact for as many as we possibly can as a result of the economic impacts of what we're seeing with the coronavirus. But let me just announce a number of other measures that will be moving on, and then I'll hand over to the Treasurer to deal with the issues that we've already issued a statement on regarding the Office of the Australian Office of Financial Management. After further consultation with the National Security Committee this afternoon, tonight we will be resolving to move to a position where a travel ban will be placed on all non-residents, non-Australian citizens coming to Australia, and that will be in place from 9 p.m. tomorrow evening. We have already seen a very significant reduction in the travel to Australia by non-citizens and residents. It's about a third of what it normally would be at this time of the year, and we've seen reductions even in the last few days when we put in place the bans which required people to self-isolate for 14 days. And so as a result of that decision, we've seen that the traffic reduce quite significantly, and we believe it is essential now to take that further step to ensure that we no longer will be allowing anyone, unless they're a citizen or a resident or a direct family member in those cases, as is applied to all the other travel bans we put in place previously. Now, this is a measure that I've been consulting also with the New Zealand Prime Minister on. We've been seeking to align our arrangements across the Tasman, and I appreciate the consultation that I've had with Prime Minister Ardern over these many months when it deals with these issues. This arrangement will enable, over the next 24 hours or so, for people to make other arrangements if they were intending to come to Australia. We won't have people then, in the vast majority of cases, who will find themselves on planes en route here unless they are going along a rather protracted route, and that means they'll be able to make other arrangements. Now, for Australians, of course, they will be able to return, and they will be subject, as they already are, to 14-day isolation upon arrival back in Australia. Now, the reason for this decision is consistent with the decisions we've already made on this issue, and that is we now have around 80% of the cases we have in Australia that are either a result of someone who has contracted the virus overseas or someone who has had a direct contact with someone who has returned from overseas. So the overwhelming proportion of cases in Australia have been imported. And the measures we've put in place has obviously had an impact on that, and this is a further measure now that will ensure that can be further enhanced. I want to thank Qantas also, who are offering to work with us to ensure that they maintain flights from particular parts of the world that can assist Australians to return to Australia, and we'll be working closely with them and those Australians who are overseas. We've been encouraging them to return to Australia. Those who are in more remote parts of the world, that could prove more challenging. But for those who are in other places, then it is our intention to ensure that we can maintain flights to enable them to come home.